Welcome and good evening. This meeting of the Manheim Township School Board is now called to order. Welcome to everyone here in person and those joining us online on YouTube. In addition to the live stream, both audio and video are being recorded. Nurture and challenge for success is our district's mission. It serves as a reminder of our intent to enable every Manheim Township student to learn, grow, and thrive. Now, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we have a few announcements before we start. Again, members of our community are encouraged to participate in board meetings in person or to view them online. In support of both transparency and community engagement, recordings of meetings can now also be watched afterwards on the district's YouTube channel. Number two in our announcement is that there are some significant events that we're going to take on this evening as a school board. There are several actions that we will take to help direct us in our new direction moving forward, and we will speak about those in detail when we get to them on our agenda. I also want to take a moment to wish Happy Eid al-Fitr to those who observe. And now, before we move into our formal agenda, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate some of the incredible things happening across our district. It is a busy and exciting time for our students and staff. First, I'm proud to announce that our middle school math counts team is headed to the state competition this upcoming weekend. This is a monumental achievement as it marks the first time since 2009 that our district has been represented at the state level in this competition. We want to extend a huge thank you to our middle school math teacher, Mrs. Jennifer Smith. Her dedication in preparing these students has been remarkable. Guiding them through the rigorous challenges of solving complex problems under time constraints without the use of a calculator is no small feat. Please join me in wishing our students the best of luck this weekend. I also have a few non-school-based updates I'd like to share. Take a moment to recognize two community-led groups that involve our students. These programs are run by dedicated community members and parents, and the results our students have achieved this season are nothing short of amazing. First, on March 7th, 9 teams from across the district competed in the Regional Odyssey of the Mind tournament. These students spend months solving complex problems and creating entirely original performances. We are thrilled to announce that 3 of our teams have advanced to the state tournament on March 28th. From Landis Run Intermediate School, our Landis Run Intermediate School is in Division 2. Ride and Bog Elementary has a team in Division 1, and Landis Run Intermediate also has a team in Division 1. We also want to recognize our high school Team B, high school Team A, and Nitschauer Elementary Division 1 for placing in their competition. And finally, a special commendation to our primary teams from Nitschauer, Reidenbaugh, and Brecht for their outstanding creativity and teamwork. Thank you to the many parents and community volunteers who make this program possible for our creative thinkers across the district. And next, I also want to take one last moment to highlight our community robotics team, guided by Manheim Township parent Jenny Kim Lee. The FTC Robotics Team 25650, known as One Small Step for an Axolotl, has achieved a historic milestone. Competing against the top 40 teams at the Pennsylvania First Tech Challenge State Championship, our students earned first place in the robot competition and first place with the Inspire Award, which is the event's top judged honor. Our team currently ranks 51st overall and 36th in autonomous out of more than 8,600 teams worldwide. Because of this performance, they will represent Pennsylvania at the FTC World Championship in Houston, Texas this April. This may be the first time that a team from Lancaster County has ever advanced to the world level competition. This team is led by captains William Lee, who's a senior, and Elizabeth Lee, who's in 8th grade, with teammates Maruk Abdullah, Anam Ahmed, Lizzie Droder, and Sophie Dong. Whether they are in their signature bright pink uniforms or running STEM camps for younger children, these students are inspiring our next generation of engineers. A way to go. And please join me in wishing them good luck and congratulations.
I think I saw Janny in the audience, right? Do you want to stand up? We thank you, Coach.
That's awesome. And if that's not enough, we're on to our presentations. For some more celebratory actions, please welcome in our item 2 presentations, Mr. Jones, our high school art teacher, to talk about some Lancaster County young artists. Mr. Jones, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us. Being that March is Youth Arts Month, thought it'd be appropriate to kind of highlight some of our amazing seniors and also some of our recent awards that we got. This first one. Full screen down here. There we go. Nice. Is that showing up on your screens? Cool. Yeah, let's start with mine.
Hi, my name is Maya. I'm obviously a senior here at Township, and I'm one of the co-presidents of the National Art Honor Society. For me, I can say that art has always been kind of an escape from my more structured work and definitely an outlet for all of the more creative parts of my life. As someone who plans to become a lawyer when I'm older, it's definitely a necessary outlet that I need to balance out the rigorous course load that I'm sure I'll be working with. While I'm not committed yet, I plan to go to a 4-year college and major in English on the pre-law track.
Hi, I'm Riley McGarrett. I'm also a senior at the high school. Here on the slide, I have some of my favorite art pieces I've made over the years. I've been in probably every art class that the school district has had to offer. I've really enjoyed my years making art here, and I plan on continuing making art in the future, although I have no clue where I'm going to end up. I know I want to attend a 4-year college, but I'm unsure what I really want to do in life, but I just know that art is going to stay a part of it. So.
Hi, I'm Emerson Arnaro. I'm in IB Art. I've been taking art classes all 4 years of high school. And my plan for after high school is that I'm going to go to the University of Delaware and major in neuroscience and minor in psychology and art. The reason why I took art all 4 years of high school was because I'm just so curious about the world around us. And so art gave me that lens in order to do that.
Hello, I'm Jude Espenshade. These are some of my pieces. As I've grown up, I've come to recognize art as one of the most important tools in communicating, and I've developed these skills and foundations of art: Art 1, Art 2, Fibers and Crafts, Sculpture, Ceramics 1, and IB Art. And this past Sunday, I attended a ceremony to receive the Red Raven Art Scholarship, which will be used towards a 4-year bachelor degree in fashion design.
Pretty impressive. He's also forgetting to tell you that part of that award is he has an emerging artist show at Red Raven Gallery in July. So, yeah. And conveniently, all 4 students here have work that got into this art show that I referenced. So it's the Lancaster County Young Artist Art Show. It's an annual show in the Lancaster Museum of Art. So there's 29 pieces that got accepted from Manheim Township. So as you can see as I scroll through some of these pieces, there's a few things that I'm personally really proud of, one of which is the diversity of projects. We got something accepted in the show in every single category that they offer, except for one, which is jewelry. But next year, we're actually starting a jewelry class thanks to the board's approval. So, little shameless plug there. Another thing that I'm excited about is we have 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders that all got accepted into the show. So the future is looking bright. Andy there in the middle is our only student that got 3 things accepted, and he's only a 10th grader, so lucky us. Oh, I'll let you say something there.
The piece here that I did received honorable mention in the LCYA and also silver key in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards.
So we were also lucky enough to have a few pieces get into the silver awards here. So there's obviously some really beautiful ceramic and sculpture. I have the honor of having 2 pieces in the silver award, one painting and then one digitally altered ink piece. So that's another really great thing that we have so much diversity between all of the awards, not just honorable mentions, but we've actually been able to be successful across all the categories.
And then we also had 2 gold winners this year, which were me and Emerson. We were super excited when we found out about this. We were both really proud of these pieces. Yeah, we spent a lot of time working on them, and we were really happy they got accepted into the highest level. So.
Please come to the art show. It's really fun. There's a lot of pieces. Yeah.
And another plug, our district art show on May 16th, 3 to 7. So if you're free, mark it in your calendars. Thanks for having us.
Mr. Jones and students you continue to impress. We're so proud of the work that you're doing and inspired by it. So thank you so much for showing that to us today. Okay, we are now moving on in our agenda. We're on to number 3, roll call vote. Unless otherwise stated, each vote taken at the meeting will be considered a roll call vote, and the board secretary will record any negative votes or abstentions. We're on to number 4, Mainline Township community comments on consent agenda or other action items. So residents, taxpayers, district employees, and students are all welcome and encouraged to participate. The board won't engage in discussion, but will provide follow-up if needed. If you'd like to speak on a matter that we're about to vote on, and if you have the agenda, if you don't have agenda, they're at the front when you walk in. But if you want to give comment on any of the items that we're about to vote on before we do so, now is your chance to do it. If you'd like to speak, please fill out a commenter's card for the board secretary to collect. Limit your remarks to 5 minutes and share your full name before you begin. Would anyone like to make comments this evening?
I would, but I did not see the commenter cards. Are they up here? Great. I'll fill it out after I talk, so I don't need to slow anybody down. Good evening. I think most of you know me up there, but for everybody else, I'm Reverend Jesse North. I'm a resident of Manheim Township, proud dad of 2 kids who graduated from here, and I've been very involved in things at this board level since some folks on the previous board visited an unnecessary disaster upon it. So when I heard there was going to be an opening for the school board coming up, I encouraged my friend Jessica Kaler to apply. I know Jessica, our family's known Jessica because we're both involved in Grandview Church, where Jessica is not only a Sunday school teacher, but a friend to our family, a friend to clergy like me. And I think folks know her in that capacity as well as elsewhere in our community. I asked my wife, what words come to mind when you think of Jess? My wife's also a grad student, so she's busy tonight. She said compassionate, thinker, creative, committed to protecting opportunities for all children to grow, and committed to service. You might know Jess from her work with the cross-country folks, with the musical, with band, with her involvement with her children who are part of the district. You might know that she has 25 years of experience, including as an educator, as a supervisor of new teachers, and 6 years working on the MTSD Superintendent Lay Advisory Committee. You might also have read Jess say this week in LNP, I can say hard things in ways that people hear. That might not be a quote, but that's what I remembered from reading the article. I can tell you that's true because Jess is a friend. Part of what I think Jess brings to this board, beyond all of that, is her broad leadership experience and the ability that she has to take what you guys have to do on this board, what you people have to do on this board, which is to listen to like an entire community, including brilliant students, brilliant educators, and a range of us who are citizens, and try to figure out what do we do next when things are very difficult, very complicated, and you have to weigh the interests of lots of different stakeholders. So I know Jess included this in her materials, but one of the reasons I have the utmost respect for Jess is that not only has she been a leader in those educational circles, but she's also been a leader in the Girl Scouts and committed at the level of like fundraising so that girls who were not able to participate fully in the program could do things like go on high adventure trips with her to places like Hawaii. That's no small thing. But when Jess found out that in spite of the Girl Scouts national organization being fully inclusive, that at the local like council level, not this council here, but the wider council of which her troop was a part, that council actually excluded non-binary, intersex, and trans children, she was disturbed. So she did what I imagine anyone on this board would do. She went and met with the council, found out it was in fact true, took other people back to the council, networked with councils from around the country who actually were committed, like the church we're both part of, to being fully inclusive of all children, all people. Went back, including taking the letter of a 14-year-old queer kid, and was rebuffed, told the council's not going to budge. But didn't just go all huff and bluster about that, took it back to the parents of the troop, this beloved troop that's done tremendous things for girls, where they voted and decided the only move left for us to stand up for kids is to leave. That's not an easy decision to make. That's not a shoot from the hip kind of thing. That's not something that you just arrive at because you got mad one day. That's the kind of considered leadership that comes from a place of deep integrity, deep training, and the kind of experience with children, and the kind of personal integrity that I want to see as a taxpayer, as a parent of alumni, and frankly, as a pastor. That's the kind of leadership I want to see in our community. So I'm proud that I've supported all of you that are on this board right now, and I hope that that remains true when you vote to hire Jessica. Well, not to hire. When you vote to let Jessica add one more piece of service to all the good work she's done in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to give public comment? Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Holly Rubik. I want to say thank you again for giving me the opportunity to interview last week for the position of school board director. I know you have my resume, my letter of interest, and written responses. I'd like to share a little more about the unique perspective I would bring as a school board director, especially through the lens of the district's mission, nurture and challenge for success. As a parent and educator, I've seen what happens when students are nurtured, when they feel safe, known, and supported, and also challenged with high expectations. The growth we've seen in our foster children over the past 3 years in Township has been remarkable. That kind of growth doesn't happen by accident. It reflects a system that balances care and rigor well. Professionally, I've tried to lead in that same way. As an administrator, I strongly advocated for students with special needs. During my tenure as both an assistant principal and principal, I served in numerous IEP meetings as the LEA representative. Those conversations required empathy, clarity, and a strong understanding of systems. Yes, compliance was non-negotiable, but more importantly, it was about equity, making sure every student has access to what they need to succeed is the lens that guides my work and guided my work. As an example, when I was principal, I worked with staff and the IU to support a student with significant needs in a general education classroom, rather than immediately pursue outside placement. That took collaboration, professional development, and honest conversations. It required both nurturing people through change and challenging our thinking about what was possible. As a curriculum coordinator, I led a middle school ELA curriculum writing process with initial support provided by an outside consultant. We built a strong structure, standards aligned, clear, rigorous, and practical. But we initially missed aligning the units with middle school years program within IB. The teacher curriculum teams respectfully challenged us. They were right. So we paused, we listened, and we adjusted. The final result was stronger because more voices shaped it. That experience reinforced something I believe deeply. Multiple minds produce richer results when there is trust and a shared focus on students. I've also worked on the administrative side with school boards that functioned very differently. Some unified and respectful, others more divided. I've seen how much board culture matters. The tone at this table influences superintendent stability, staff morale, and community confidence. Those experiences taught me how important the role of school board director truly is. The decisions made here ripple throughout the district, and the way those decisions are made matters just as much as the decisions themselves. A strong board nurtures trust. It works collaboratively, it supports the superintendent, and keeps a steady focus on long-term priorities. But it also challenges thoughtfully. It asks important questions, it ensures alignment, it stewards resources carefully. If appointed, I would bring that balanced approach. I would listen carefully, I would value every voice at the table, and I would ask questions when clarity or alignment could improve to better serve students and teachers. I understand that governance is distinct from management. The board sets direction, ensures accountability, and keeps the mission at the center. Manheim Township is doing very meaningful work. I would be honored to contribute in a way that strengthens trust, advances equity, and keeps our focus on nurturing and challenging every student for success. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to give public comment? Welcome.
Hi. My name's Marty Kiefer. I have 2 young adults who already graduated and 3 kiddos in the high school right now. I'm speaking tonight because I have a growing concern about 3 different topics, and I think I represent many taxpayers in our community. First, our newly minted superintendent was placed on administrative leave back in February, as you all know, and since then, there has been very little communication to our Manheim Township tax-paying community and to the district teachers. You've given no reasons for her departure. The only information we do have is coming from local news sources. You have not taken any ownership for your mismanagement of the situation, and from what we can tell, you hired her without a thorough research of her history. You inappropriately or naively hired her with a clause that keeps you from speaking about the details with us. Please tell me you've learned from that mistake. There's a lot you could be saying right now, but you're choosing to go radio silent on us. Where's the transparency? Number 2, I'm very concerned about the overspending of our 2026 budget. I urge you to reconsider what is best for our district now that we are aware of additional spending related to the superintendent debacle. We are paying Dr. Hefty through June 30th of this year. This means we are paying out $75,000 to someone who is not working. The additional substitute superintendent who is being hired for $900 a day adds an additional $18,000 a month for April, May, and June, adding to the total budget expenditures another $54,000. This is a big error on your part and should make you pause and evaluate what went wrong and how you plan to learn from your mistakes as a board. One idea that I have, in a school board meeting earlier this year, you were discussing the increased budget for hiring new personnel, specifically 3 new deans of students. So this is just an idea. In our middle school and elementary schools, each will be getting a 6-figure salary. Can we maybe put off hiring for these administrative positions right now? We just can't afford them. And as if that wasn't enough, you voted to completely rebuild Nitrower. You are spending money like it grows on trees. I think you need to reconsider whether our school district can handle all these expenses, especially since the proposed budget already has a $3 million deficit. When unexpected situations occur, like this, what's going on with our superintendent, we need to make adjustments. I urge you to think wisely since you are spending taxpayer money. Unless I'm misunderstanding something, and I could be, even if you raise our taxes the highest you can in 1 year, which none of us here want, there will still be at least a $1.5 million deficit in 2026. Your poor leadership should not punish the taxpayer. Figure out a way to live within the budget. And number 3, I'm concerned about your disrespect during public comments. I want to thank Mark Diener for the courage he has displayed month after month curating our school libraries and protecting our young minds from unnecessary sexual content. Mr. Diener has done a good thing for our school district, bringing to light the pornographic, X-rated nature of many books that our young children and teens have access to in our schools. We should honor such a man. Thank you, Mark. I learned that one book was recently removed from our school libraries. It's graphic and sexually explicit, but it also has the F word in it 48 times. Just to compare, a PG-13 movie gets switched into the rated R category after only 2 F-bombs. This was 48. Rated R is restricted from minors, as these books should be. I applaud him for his work. I am only ashamed for not supporting him more this past year. On that note, I would say shame on you for limiting his speech. For a board who touts diversity, you certainly don't appreciate it when listening to differing opinions, ones that are different from yours. Shame on you for your unprofessional conduct when Mr. Diener is speaking, for rolling your eyes, for making comments under your breath, and for snickering at him. Your disgust and disrespect for this man is palpable. Mr. Grenter, your public comment last week thanking trained library personnel meant to dig at Mark was very unprofessional and completely out of line. Let's do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to give public comment?
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Muehlbach, and I live at 406 Weatherburn Drive. I'm a 1994 Township grad and the mother of a 2024 graduate, a 7th grader, and a 2nd grader. Blue streak blood runs through my veins, which is why I'm here tonight. I want to begin by extending a genuine thank you to the board for your commitment and willingness to serve our community. As I come tonight, I have a few concerns on my heart and mind. The first has to deal with how embarrassed I feel to be a member of this community that has had a long history of excellence, yet recently, it seems, to have failed to uphold these standards. To be the superintendent of this fine district should be the privilege of an equally exceptional educational leader. The board and any other members of the search committee failed to execute their due diligence and failed in their efforts to fill this role well. A simple Google search or a conversation with some teachers and parents at a previous district would have revealed that the most recent choice was not wise. In fact, it has been detrimental to our reputation. Trust me, I teach at a neighboring district, and Township does not carry the same impressive weight it used to. And now, when we should be healing from such a disgraceful decision, we are instead continuing to bleed out money as we continue to pay the former superintendent through June 2026, while she has ceased to fulfill her commitment to us. How does this happen? How does a board hire so poorly and negotiate such a clearly mishandled contract that from the start suggests impropriety with an anti-transparency clause? I'm concerned as a taxpayer, I'm concerned as a mother, and I'm horrified as a fellow educator. Next, I'd like to offer my support for Lisa Reed to fill the open school board position. If you've ever volunteered in the concession stand even once while Lisa is in charge, you know that she is up to the challenge. I've never seen anyone put kraut on a dog, flip a burger, and make a walking taco all at the same time like Lisa. In addition, she loves Township, like we all do, and wants what is best for students and staff alike. She is in the schools, she's at the activities, and she's admired and appreciated by so many, including teachers, administrators, and community members. If we want to have a diverse school board that represents the thoughts and values of many, adding Lisa to the board would go far to help reflect that goal. And finally, at the last board meeting, several new positions were announced that were to be posted in the coming weeks, and among those were at least 2 Dean of Student positions. I see that those have indeed been posted on the district's employment page, but I'm wondering why they are only for internal candidates. It seems to me that opening those positions to a wide range of candidates could attract a more competitive pool to draw from, ensuring that the best person is selected for these important roles that handle behavior, discipline, and intervention. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to give public comment?
Good evening. I know you won't respond to my questions at this time, but it is the responsibility of the board to communicate pertinent information impacting the district. Parents, teachers, and taxpayers are entitled to and desire to know the answers to pressing matters impacting the district. So I ask the following. What was the last day Caroline Pate Hefty attended work and performed her role as superintendent? When and why was she placed on admin leave? Why wasn't the announcement or her leave communicated in enough time to ensure the township, including teachers, heard from the district prior to reading it in the press? Her resignation agreement communicates that she is voluntarily resigning for personal reasons. Why would someone who is voluntarily resigning be put on a paid leave? Why are you agreeing to pay her in full until June 30th when she has voluntarily resigned and, to the community's knowledge, is no longer performing any duties? What board members were responsible for formulating and approving her contract? Who was responsible for agreeing to the privacy clause in the contract, and why did this person or people agree to that? In the spirit of transparency, that information should be shared. Was the clause reviewed and recommended by the school solicitor or the other law firms we have retained? On that note, and to digress for a minute, are we still paying those law firms? What have we received, changed, obtained, or implemented as a result of using them? And noting the matters of the field trip appeared to still be undecided per conversations that took place at the last board meeting. Also, what is the total cost to date that we have paid these firms? How did you oversee the previous hiring process? Did you rely solely on the agency to do the vetting? What did school board members do individually or as a group to assess the fit for the hire? What made you select someone who is from another state and as such would have a learning curve of PA state laws, select someone who came from a significantly smaller district, or hire someone who had several easy-to-find online news articles detailing toxic work environments, not following policy, and being described as retaliatory at her former district? What made you choose someone like this over the candidates that applied and over our own assistant and at the time interim superintendent who was already familiar with and seemingly managing the school well prior to her hire? What efforts will be made moving forward in your hiring process to manage spending while thoroughly vetting and interviewing a candidate, noting the last hiring process reportedly cost around $15,000? How are you managing the budget considering the added expensive of hiring another hiring process, simultaneously paying 2 superintendents, moving forward with plans to build a school, and other operating expenses? Have you sought feedback from teachers, admin, and staff at large about the impact of her hiring and her resignation? You need to answer the questions that people are asking, and you need to make a public response. We were told that the district is steadfast, but with no detail or information. In my observations, the board has been steadfast in zero communication, no transparency, poor decision making, and irresponsible financial management. In addition to the request for your response on the prior matters, I also want to state that I too was disheartened by the disrespectful treatment observed during community comments last week. Several of you were eye-rolling, snickering, whispering, paying no attention, scrolling on your iPads, and topped off with a passive-aggressive comment. Regardless of your opinion on a person or a matter, it is the school board members' fundamental role and responsibility to listen to and show respect to all residents who come to you with criticism, praise, or to address genuine concerns, especially when the concern involves transparency and protecting the innocence of children. When concerns go unanswered or unresolved, it would only encourage someone to continue to come up here and address it. When concerns are met with mockery, disregard, or by enacting policies that limit their ability to publicly address it, there is little hope for progress and signals of a larger issue, including a breakdown in communication, accountability, transparency, and respect for the community you're here to serve. I'll end with my 26 seconds. I did email, but I would also like to support the candidates of Lisa Reed and Todd Heckman, noting that Lisa Reed was approved by the school board when she did run, and that both of these candidates did run in an election, received votes from the community, and are excellent at what they do and very involved in our schools. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you didn't say your name when you started.
It's Abby Foster.
Abby Foster. Thank you. Would anyone else like to give public comment? Anyone else? Okay, we're moving on. We are on to item 5 in our agenda, which is approval of agenda or agenda modification. Is there a motion to either approve or modify the agenda?
Mr. Grenter, I'd like to pull item I, so I'd like to make a motion to pull item I just to provide some clarification information. The one about the overnight field trips.
Okay. So you want to move on. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 So now we're on to item 6. We're going to pull item I and put it into item 7 in our agenda. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Items listed under this section and section 6 are considered to be routine and are acted on in one motion. There is no discussion prior to the vote unless a board member requests an item to be removed to be discussed in section 7. So I think this is where we got a little messed up there. I think we needed to approve the agenda in item 5 and not pull item I until just now. So that's what that hesitation was for. But I think we are fine procedurally. Or Mrs. Marshall, do we need to go back and redo item 5? Okay. So we just need a clean approval of our agenda or a modification of our agenda, which is not what you asked for, Mr. Rivera. So then we were to hold your pull of item I until number 6 under our consent agenda. Okay. So we're going to move back, redo that part. Is there approval under item 5 of our agenda? So moved. Mrs. Hens, is there a second? Ms. Lamb, thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Now all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Now we are on to item 6. I'll start that again. Items listed under 6 in our agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on in one motion. There's no discussion prior to the vote unless a board member requests an item to be removed from the section to be discussed in section 7. Mr. Rivera.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'd like to pull item I from the agenda.
Item I is moved. And now, is there anything else that would like to get pulled out of the consent agenda? Okay. So is there a motion to approve all the items that remain in our consent agenda?
So moved.
Mr. McKenna, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Okay, the motion carries. Now we're on to item 7. So we are now back to looking at item I, which is our approval of the out-of-state and overnight field trips. Now, before we go into discussion, is there a motion to approve this item? Mrs. Hens, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Woodbury. Okay, now discussion. Mr. Rivera, please share.
I apologize for jumping the gun there.
No problem. We
So
got
yeah,
through
I
it.
had a chance to. That item has had a field trip, a TSA field trip, where there were 4 students to a room. I had a chance to speak with a TSA Region 2 director. She's also part of the state. She's a state official. She helps to set that up. And just to provide some information, there are approximately 2,000 students involved in that TSA competition. So literally, they rent out the entire facility. So even if you wanted to go 2 to a room, you really would have to. You could not do it. Beyond that, as I expressed last week, sometimes having 4 to a room is a little easier. When I've done trips, I like to keep all the students on one level. It's easier for me to check on them. It's cheaper for the students also. It's less costly. And sometimes I find for behavior reasons, they kind of tell on each other when there's 4 in a room. So there are some positive things to that, but as far as the ability to have fewer in a room is really not possible at that competition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rivera. Does anyone else have thoughts or questions on that? Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve the overnight and out-of-state field trips. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The motion carries. We are past item 7. We are now into section 8 in our agenda, other recommended items. First up is item A, approval of paid administrative leave of absence for Dr. Caroline Pate-Hefty from February 18th, 2026 through June 30, 2026, and to approve the resignation agreement, accepting Dr. Pate-Hefty's resignation effective June 30, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Dr. McCardle, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Woodbury. Now, before we vote, I'm going to speak on this agenda item. Dr. Pate-Hefty was not the right fit for Manheim Township. We listened to feedback from the school community, worked with council, and investigated when we learned this and act swiftly to make a change. There is a cost to the separation that we do not take lightly, but are clear that this is the best path forward for the school district administrators, staff, and students. We are committed to learning from this outcome to strengthen the next superintendent search in partnership with our administration, staff, and parents. I also want to take a moment to address some of the reporting and public inquiry around this process, and some of the reporting that has followed that. One issue that has been repeatedly named and reported has been a clause in the contract relating to the disclosure of investigations. I can say that clause bore no weight in our actions, nor is it unique to this school district. Many superintendent employment agreements throughout the region include similar confidentiality provisions. The Pennsylvania Association of School Administrators requests confidentiality language such as this when they represent superintendents in negotiating employment agreements. This is common. What is frustrating here, and quite frankly, what I think the media has made little effort to understand or fully report on to the nature of these provisions. Instead, it seemed that they are displeased with the lack of information being provided about a confidential personnel matter, and so took steps as extreme as staking out Dr. Pate-Hefty's home. When I say that provision bore no weight, I mean that we have not, as a school board, and would not, as a school board, be discussing personnel matters in public when they are in process. Simply put, confidentiality of this matter would have occurred regardless of this contract language. Our employees have rights. They have rights to a fair process, and we will uphold those rights. Nowhere in that process does it involve discussion of personnel matters in the media, and this is the same way that we treat a teacher, a support staff, or any other administrator. To do so otherwise would expose this district to significant liability and break our commitment to our employees. That's all I have to say on that. Does anyone else have anything to share? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor of approving the agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. We're now on to item B, approval to appoint Dr. Martin Hudax as substitute superintendent effective March 2026 and March 20th, 2026, and to approve the agreement for services for substitute superintendent between the Manheim Township School District and Creche. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Zimmerman, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Rivera, I think. Sorry, Ms. Lang. So for discussion, I might pass it off to you, Ms. Zimmerman.
Sure. I'd like to take a few minutes to outline the process preceding tonight's recommended action to appoint Dr. Marty Hudax as the substitute superintendent. The board partnered with CRESS, a nonprofit educational staffing organization that is committed to connecting schools and communities with caring professionals and resources. Manheim Township has an existing and positive relationship with CRESS, currently contracting for interim personnel needs, including a math supervisor and the director of curriculum and instruction. As former educational leaders, the CRESS team was supportive in helping the board make this critical decision for our community. CRESS initially presented the board with 7 qualified candidates. These candidates had either previously contracted in superintendent roles with CRESS, had contacted the district to express interest in a substitute position, or were recommended directly to the board as a result of our outreach to various professional organizations. CRESS screened each candidate and advanced only experienced individuals who came with a public and professional track record of success, coupled with strong phone references based on their prior leadership work. The board interviewed 3 candidates, and finally we consulted with senior district leaders about these top candidates. It was evident from this process that Dr. Hudax is an exceptional educational leader. He demonstrated a deep knowledge of our school district and a familiarity with many of our staff members because of his previous tenure. We are confident that Dr. Hudax is the right leader to focus on the following priorities for Manheim Township: helping identify and replace key vacancies in our district office, providing stability by being a visible and supportive presence in our schools, and assisting the board in making informed decisions about large-scale projects impacting our entire community, such as our campus facilities. We are thankful that Dr. Hudax will bring a calm and connected approach, and we look forward to working as a team with the board, with our administrative staff, with our teachers, students, and community to move our district forward.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Would anyone else like to make comments about Dr. Hudax? Okay. That's it. So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Welcome, Dr. Hudax. We are now on to item C in our agenda, approval of the Secretary's minutes of Facilities Committee of the Whole meeting on February 5th, 2026, the board work session on February 12th, 2026, and the regular meeting of the Board of School Directors on February 19th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Woodbury, is there a second?
Second.
Dr. McCardle, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. We are now on to item D, an appointment of a board member to fill the board vacancy for a term beginning April 2nd, 2026 to December 6th, 2027. So this process will be completed as follows. As president, I will open the floor for nominations. If there is only one nomination, then the board members will have a roll call vote on that candidate. If there is more than one nomination, each board member will state the name of the candidate they are voting for, and I will call on those board members in a randomized order provided to me previously before the meeting by Mrs. Marshall, our board secretary. In the case that no candidate gets a majority, the candidate with the lowest votes will be dropped until a majority is achieved. Once a majority is determined, a motion will be made in our action item following this, and a second will be made, and then we will vote to appoint that person to our board. So before we move forward, I wanted to ask Mr. McKenna to share a little bit about what this process has looked like and recap it what these past few meetings have held.
Thank you, Mr. Renter. I want to express our board's appreciation to the Manheim Township community for the response that we had to this call for a new board member. We, as you heard tonight, have some really exceptional community leaders in all of our schools and all of our neighborhoods across this community. And the fact that they were willing to serve in this role is a testament to all of them, even though we're only able to select one this evening. But it does indicate just the depth and commitment that so many have to our Blue Streaks family. As far as the process went, we started promoting this vacancy in the newspaper beginning on February 23rd. We asked eligible individuals to submit a letter of interest as well as their CV. And in that letter of interest, we requested that they explain why they desired to be a school director. The candidates then received 3 questions, and we were asking them to respond in writing. Those 3 questions related to the roles and responsibilities of what it takes to be an effective school director, what the top priorities are for the district and the school board in the next 18 months, as well as examples of their experience navigating complex decisions in a collaborative environment. Board members reviewed this information in advance of our special public meeting that we held last Thursday. During that meeting, candidates were publicly interviewed. They responded to the question, please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences. And as we heard, and for those of you who listened to that special board meeting, we have many individuals with really strong qualifications, and for that we're grateful. So want to reiterate that we appreciate all the people who participated in the process, and we will be making the decision tonight in light of those elements of the process that I just described. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. So now I'll open it up to my colleagues on the board for nominations. Would someone like to nominate a candidate?
Question, Mr. Grunter. If we have a few words to say about the person we're nominating, would we do it at the time of the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to yield to Mrs. Hentz if she has one first.
Mrs. Hentz.
Thank you. I would like to place into nomination the name of Mr. Mark Oles. First, let me thank all of the candidates and recognize their impressive resumes and the amazing Blue Streak spirit they bring with them. We are so very lucky in Manheim Township to have the concerned parents we have, regardless of whether we all always agree. You bring an exciting opportunity to Manheim Township. But I need to take a slightly different tack. I do not believe this board needs another new board member. We have lots of new board members. What this board needs most at this time is a stabilizing factor. I've been watching board interaction for nearly 40 years as an observer or as an active participant. Now in my 9th year here at the Manheim Township Board, I think I can spot what makes a board successful. What I think we need is another Ramon, a long-term township diehard who recognizes the how and why of past decisions and the constraints of policy, regulation, and law. That's why I approached Mark Oles and asked him to once again step up to represent our community. He and Mary Beth are parents who have been active with their students from kindergarten through high school. He's taken on school-wide responsibilities as well as district-level leadership roles. He has been a sports parent, a coach, and an outspoken advocate for every student to have the same fun and opportunities that he and his kids enjoy here in Manheim Township Schools. Mark has community connections and respect. He has kept his ear to board actions, attending meetings often, and speaking when he felt his background of experience would add to the discussion. Otherwise, he's been the school community stalwart,
who does what he can in the background. Because he stayed involved and informed, Mark understands the roles of board versus administration and the impact of our decisions on our classrooms. Through his varied experience, he can speak to facilities, finances, curriculum, staffing, long-range planning, and has been here to witness the ups and downs of at least 4 past superintendents, giving him insight in that upcoming process as well. I cannot overstate the importance of a long-term activist and the role of organizational history in providing the stability this board needs at this time. Mark Oles, and I choose my analogy carefully, is prepared to meet our pace quickly and run in step with us toward our goals. I urge you to heed the advice of your senior member. Look for those stabilizing qualities among our candidates and join me in electing Mark Oles to fill the vacant seat on this board.
Thank you, Mrs. Hentz. Would anyone else like to make a nomination? Ms. Woodbury.
I want to first say that I'll echo our anchor's comments. I can't help but color our anchor, Mrs. Hentz. Thank you so much for reminding us about the importance of community connections, respect, and long-standing involvement in the district. I too agree; those are critical qualities to a board member who will be a good fit for our board in our current and emerging work. We had a tough time, 10 high-quality candidates applying for appointment to this board. And I took my time doing my due diligence on the categories you heard Mr. McKenna speak about. 4 of those candidates expressed a strong knowledge of the core duties of the board in a way that was eloquent and indicated their preparation. 2 candidates shared their view of top priorities in a way that strongly aligned with those of the board and showed detailed knowledge and solid engagement and preparation. 1 candidate rose to the top in their ability to listen, build consensus, and manage disagreement. Their ability to navigate and negotiate complex decisions with downside risk in multiple directions with integrity. Finally, after carefully considering all of the 10 applicants' skills, qualities, and experience, it is clear that a focus on our shared future requires a leader that centers others, demonstrates sound judgment, and operates with tenacity and integrity. And for that reason, I'd like to nominate Jessica Kaler.
Thank you, Ms. Woodbury. Would anyone else like to make a nomination? No other nominations. Okay. So it is on to a vote. And the 2 people who have been nominated are Mr. Mark Oles, Ms. Jessica Kaler. So given the randomized vote order given to me by Mrs. Marshall, I will now start a roll call. First up is Ms. Zimmerman.
Jessica Kaler.
I am next. I will vote for Jessica Kaler. Next up is Ms. Woodbury.
Jessica Kaler.
Next up is Mrs. Hentz.
Mr. Oles.
After that is Mr. Rivera.
Jessica Kaler.
Mr. McKenna.
Jessica Kaler.
Dr. McCardle.
Jessica Kaler.
Ms. Lamb.
Jessica Kaler.
Jessica Kaler. Okay, so Jessica Kaler, I have it as having 7 votes, 1 vote for Mr. Oles. Congratulations. So I'd now like a motion for the appointment of a board member to fill the vacancy of a 4th term, building April 2nd, 2026, and ending the first Monday in December 2027. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Ms. Lamb. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Congratulations and welcome to Jessica Kaler, a newly appointed board member. We are now on to item E, approval for the newly elected board member to partner with Brecht Elementary and the Envisions program. Those are going to be your partner programs, and we'll talk to you all about what that is as you after you're sworn in. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Zimmerman, is there a second?
Second.
Dr. McCardle, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The motion carries. We are now on to item F, approval of the ratification of the expulsion agreement, waiver, and stipulations of student 2025-2026.05 SEA. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Dr. McCardle, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Rivera, there is no discussion of this confidential item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. We are on to item 9, our superintendent's report. Dr. Ryman, welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Granter. Good evening, school board and community. Just a couple of quick items for you. First, our monthly enrollment report. As of March 1st, our total enrollment was 5,985 students. A month ago at the same time was 5,981 students, so it was an overall increase of 4 students from February to March. Our total enrollment, including outplaced students, reached 6,033 students. My second of 3 items is to share with the board that we do have 1 student, per policy 117, we do have 1 student who is receiving homebound instruction at the elementary level, and that is being issued through honoring district policy and proper standards, and it's being delivered by a Manheim Township educator. Third and final, just 2 quick items. Congratulations to Dr. Hudax. Welcome back to Manheim Township. Looking forward to working with you. And also congratulations to Jessica Kaler. Looking forward to working with you as well. And that's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Ryman. We are now on to item 10 in our agenda, new business. Items brought forward under new business will not be acted on until the next school board meeting to allow school board members to have sufficient information and to allow opportunities for public comment. Does any board member have new business to bring forward? Okay. Seeing none. We are now on to item 11, board member reports. Let's start with our student representatives, Joelle Francis and Shreya Shagel. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shreya Sehgal and looking forward to giving you a report of the high school.
My name is Joel Francis. I'm a senior at the high school, and I'm here to tell you all about what's happening at the high school. FTPA presents Legally Blonde, March 26th, 27th, and 28th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now and can be purchased on the Instagram or Facebook page. Tickets are $10 for students and seniors and $12 for adults. We hope to see you there.
As mentioned prior, on March 7th, 9 teams from Manheim Township competed in the Regional Odyssey of the Mind tournament. After months of preparation, where students solved problems and created a play to demonstrate their solutions to the problems, were all solutions and play components created by students without outside assistance. They performed in front of judges, and 3 teams from Manheim Township qualified for the state tournament. Those teams will be competing Saturday, March 28th at Pocono Mountain East High School. The high school team A finished 6th place, and high school team B finished in 4th place. Congratulations to all.
Minithon had their main event on February 27th from 6 to 11 p.m. and in total we were able to raise $63,558 for the Four Diamond organization. And our TSA club has a state competition coming up in April after performing very strong regionals.
The Manheim Township High School Students of the Month for February is Anna Kraki-Kepa and Benson Liu. The Student of the Month recognition focuses on seniors who are selected for their school and community through activities, leadership, and achievements. This recognition is a partnership that we have with the Lancaster Sunrise Rotary Club.
Our Manheim Township Unified Student Athletes and Best Buddies Club members participated in this year's Polar Plunge on Friday to help raise money, support, and awareness for Special Olympics Pennsylvania. We are proud of our students and coaches for all they do to support each other.
The Manheim Township School Counseling Office hosted an NCAA Student Athlete Recruiting Evening last night.
Anyone interested in participating in athletics at the collegiate level attended.
On February 26th, the Varsity Jazz Band hosted Mr. Chris Farr from Temple University for a jazz improvisation masterclass. Our students soaked up his expertise, got advice on the jazz improvisation and jazz ensemble playing, and got the chance to hear our master at work. The event was sponsored by the Eastman Musical Instrument Company and Mency Music, who brought a number of professional level saxophones for students to try out.
Here is a brief overview of our recent successes within our music department. Our student musicians have been incredibly busy representing Manheim Township at the district, regional, and state levels. First, in our band program, 11 students qualified for districts this year. Following their regional auditions held today, where 2 students, Maddie Heinley and Daniel Bennick, are currently auditioning for the state level. In orchestra, 14 students qualified for districts, with 5 of those talented musicians advancing to the regional level. In chorus, 11 students earned spots in the district chorus, with 4 advancing to states. Finally, representing Manheim Township in the all-state chorus team is Sonia Shi, the highest level recognition in the state.
We have our MTEF Mini Golf Madness this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Landis Run, and 9 of our clubs will have holes set up and they will decorate it, so vote for your favorite hole and drop in for games and activities. And taking a deep dive look into one of our clubs, chess team, there are about 20 members and they are highly connected with the youth, where they hold regular meetings at the public library. They are one of our clubs running a hole at the mini golf event at Landis Run.
For our school day countdown, we have 51 days remaining and seniors have 49. And that is all. Thank you and have a great start to your spring tomorrow.
I say it every month. 51 days, unbelievable. Okay, thank you very much. Would anyone else on the board have a report up?
Yes.
Mrs. Hens, please.
The IU13 budget process moves along well. We formally renewed the executive director's contract. We lost one early intervention location in Lebanon, but we can funnel those funds to help to fill some of the waiting list in other centers. In activities coming up in the IU, there is a gift basket bingo, if anyone enjoys that, to benefit the Lancaster Lebanon Education Foundation, Sunday, April 12th at 1 p.m. That's at the conference center. There is also a well-attended, extremely important activity, the Transition to Post-Secondary Ed Fair. This takes place each year. It has presenters on post-high school training and opportunities with emphasis on learning disabilities, psychiatric conditions, and physical impairments. I did have a parent request if there were resources available post-high school. So if anyone's listening for that, and I will get back to them, this is an excellent place for kids to hear directly from educators, counselors, everybody, on what they need to do and what their opportunities are. It's well attended every year and it's always a great success. Coming up on Thursday, March 26th, I will be attending the Spring Student Bazaar. And I've brought you things over the years like the little candy bar last year. The kids have their own classroom mini businesses and they showcase and sell their wares at the bazaar. And it is open to the public. Thursday, March 26th, 9 to 1 at the conference center. Then for NEF PTO, if you're a PTO parent, the NEF newsletter has gone out. You want to check it. There are things coming up for the rest of the year. Yearbooks and spirit wear can still be purchased. Ice skating is this Sunday at 4:30, but go and check the details. There are specific things you will need to do to participate in the ice skating, and the book fair is coming up. Sign up to help.
Thank you, Mrs. Hens. Is anyone else? Ms. Lamb.
I'm excited to share that Nitro is having their school play. Everyone is invited, and I encourage everyone, all my board colleagues, to attend. You will also have the opportunity to see how the school uses the auditorium space. There will be 3 shows, one on Friday, April 17th at 6 p.m., and 2 on Saturday, April 18th at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. And the show is Channeling Grimm, which will feature different stories from Grimm's fairy tales. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. Thank you, Ms. Lane.
It's the season for spring festivals. Ride and Balls is next week, and Spring Family Night has a number of really neat features that are organized by our very excellent and active PTO. That includes a project fair, which showcases both art, science projects, building projects. Really, the students' creativity can run wild. There's the book fair. There's a bunch of activities, but one of the new additions that we're really excited about for this year is an entrepreneurship fair, which is organized by teacher Marla Bennett. And so students have an opportunity to work either individually or together to develop a small business, and they're going to sell their products that evening during the spring family night. And my own daughters are participating. They have a small business. So if you're into rock pets or plants, come to the spring family night. But I think there's actually 40 different groups who are participating in that. So great response and such a wonderful learning experience. And one of the neat things that the PTO has fostered with Ride and Ball is a partnership with the high school Key Club. So we've had volunteers from the Key Club participate at a lot of those events as volunteers. So really neat partnership across the schools. I also want to give a second plug for MTF mini golf event that our student representative mentioned. That is this Saturday from 10 to 2 at LRAS. There are 9 really neat holes that were designed by different student clubs. You'll also get a chance to try out some of the cool projects that MTF grants fund. So robots, astronomy, drones, it's going to be great. So please come out this Saturday. Oh, and if you are a teacher or staff listening, you still have a chance to submit a proposal for the spring grant cycle. Those are due on April 1st.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. Ms. Zimmerman.
I just want to bring forward to my board colleagues and to the community a cool project that I found out about from my partner school, Schaefer Elementary, and their partnership with Manheim Township Middle School, who provides mentors to guide the elementary students in developing and completing science investigations. The mentors visit Schaefer 3 times during the month of March to help guide the students through the scientific inquiry process as they complete their investigations. The mentoring sessions are led by Mrs. Olivia Grenter, a Manheim Township Middle School science teacher, former Schaefer parent, and that is in collaboration with Mrs. Elizabeth Edwards, our Schaefer principal. So I just want to call that out because the Schaefer Elementary Science Fair is next week on Wednesday, March 25th from 5 to 6 p.m. So we love people to come out and take a look at the projects. And that same evening, Schaefer will have their art show in the school lobby from 5 to 7 p.m. So I hope to see you all there. I'll also be making it to Ride and Ball for some plants. Always need to add plants to the collection. And one more thing, I think just want to showcase that our Manheim Township High School has a wonderful newspaper. So I was able to showcase one thing. My board colleagues are showcasing other things from their schools. But our students are doing wonderful and amazing things, and we all continue to learn and grow together. And so I want to say I met with student reporter Sienna Georgieva. I'm sorry, I probably messed that name up. But we had a wonderful conversation, and you can find our student newspaper online all the time at townshiptimes.net. So just a little plug for that.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Anyone on this side? Ms. Woodbury.
There's always been great things going on at Landis Run, but I'm not going to give you any a report today except go there and play MTEF mini golf. It's a great time. PSBA, last month I tried an experiment of making a PowerPoint and sending you some highlights, but there's so much that PSBA sends us on a weekly basis. I don't think I'm the best filter for all my board colleagues because each of you is interested in maybe a different aspect of what they do. I might try a new experiment and forward you the liaison digest, and then you can tell me what you think about that and what we might do. Because there's some pretty targeted things and a lot of repeats though from last month, so I don't want to talk about those all. Thanks.
Thanks, Ms. Woodbury. I'll just say one thing for Landis Run. I just want to continue to thank Dr. Gillis and many parent volunteers. We've all heard and seen about BizTown before, and BizTown happened this month, and I know my son had an awesome experience there as a CFO. So I mean, how I just continuously love how deeply serious everyone takes their roles, how they're treated with respect and dignity that I think really helps everyone feel comfortable, and it's just a spectacular day. It was for my older daughter, and my son had a great time too. So many thanks to Dr. Gillis, the team at Landis Run, and all the parents who volunteer their time to make that happen. Anyone else with a board report? Dr. McCardle.
Thank you, Mr. Gunter. My partner school is the high school, and my job at these meetings is always so easy because of our fantastic student reps. They cover everything. I did want to make a plug for Legally Blonde. As they already mentioned, I will just say there is a poster right out front. If you want to buy tickets, you can just scan the QR code and buy tickets for the show. The last thing I wanted to say, I had the privilege of accompanying the high school and middle school bands to Millersville last week, where they participated in an adjudication. It was absolutely fun. One of my parent chaperone friends is back there, I see. We had a fantastic time. They actually performed several prepared pieces, and then they do a sight reading where they're handed a piece of music. They have a few minutes to look at it, and then they play it. I believe, don't quote me because I confirmed it with students, which is reliable to me, but I'll just say that both high school ensembles that performed received superior ratings, which is the highest rating you can get, and they get superior every year. So that was a really fun day, and I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McCardle. Mr. Rivera.
Sure. I'd like to share two highlights of the past month from Booker. One was a talent show, which I got to watch part of, and talent is an understatement for sure. And also on March 5th, unfortunately, I was out of town for this, but Dr. Martin tells me that the warm up with a good book event was a fun family night filled with Booker families, music, yummy treats provided by the PTO. People got to go in pajamas, which I was highly envious of because I was dressed up in my event. So kudos to all the Booker hard work. And my board assignment to CTC always happens the Thursday after this. So it's a little taxing for me to remember what happened a month ago. But on the 26th, it's not hard to remember at all because it was CTC board recognition dinner. And it was a dinner prepared and served by the Mount Joy Culinary students. And boy, to say delicious is also like I can't even think of a word to express how delicious and great that food was. So kudos to our students who are in the culinary program and to students from across the county who are in that.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. I think that's everybody. So we will move on then to item 12, which is Manheim Township community comments. Residents, taxpayers, district employees, and students are all welcome and encouraged to participate. The board won't engage in discussion, but will provide follow-up if needed. If you'd like to speak, please fill out a commenter's card for the board secretary to collect. Limit your remarks to 5 minutes and share your full name before you begin. Who would like to make comments this evening?
Hi, my name is Mark Diener, class of '89. I live in Manheim Township. I did a Google search. Does one librarian have the qualifications to determine the psychological needs of an entire middle school student body? Answer, no. I did a Grok AI search. Is it well reported that when a 12-year-old reads the explicit account of a teenage girl being raped, that it will re-traumatize them? Yes. It is well reported in psychological and trauma-related literature that exposure to explicit, detailed accounts of rape or sexual violence, including in books, media, or other narratives, can re-traumatize survivors of sexual trauma or trigger significant distress, including in adolescents and children. This is supported by clinical understanding of trauma triggers, post-traumatic stress disorder, and related responses. For survivors, including those who experience childhood or adolescent sexual abuse, graphic or explicit depictions can act as reminders of their own trauma, potentially leading to re-experiencing symptoms, flashbacks, intrusive thoughts, nightmares, heightened anxiety, dissociation, hypervigilance, or emotional overwhelm. For a 12-year-old specifically, if they are a survivor of sexual abuse or assault, reading an explicit rape account could be highly triggering or re-traumatizing, as adolescents remain vulnerable during ongoing brain development and may have less developed coping mechanisms. as it was noted in here by a senior a little while ago. They're just not ready for it. Even without personal history, exposure to graphic sexual violence can cause secondary vicarious trauma in young people, distress, anxiety, or shifts in worldview. If the 12-year-old has no trauma history, it could still be disturbing or inappropriate depending on maturity and context. For any child with potential vulnerability, professional guidance from a therapist or a counselor is advisable when such content is involved. Why this happens? I asked Microsoft Copilot AI. Children around age 12 are still developing emotional regulation. They're developing the ability to contextualize disturbing content. They're developing a sense of safety and boundaries. Explicit accounts of rape, especially written from the perspective of a young person, can bypass those developing coping mechanisms and feel very immediate or personal. What experts typically recommend are that professionals in child psychology and trauma care generally advise clinical and legal context. Medical and psychological professionals often caution against unnecessary exposure to such details. For example, forensic teams or legal testimonies involving children are carefully managed to avoid preventable re-traumatization. Why am I bringing all this up? We did get rid of the book Identical about a dad that raped his twin daughter. We got rid of that out of the high school library. I think it was checked out once in 15 years, thank God. We have a book in the middle school for 12-year-olds called Speak, author Lori Hoss Anderson. Multiple rape accounts in this book. If there's anybody at home or in this room that could be triggered from this material, I would advise you to leave now. Page 135. He kissed me again. His teeth ground hard against my lips. It was hard to breathe. Do you want to? He asked. What did he say? I didn't answer. I didn't know. I didn't speak. We were on the ground. When did that happen? No, I do not like this. I was on the ground and he was on top of me. My lips mumble something about leaving, about a friend who needs me, about my parents worrying. I can hear myself. I'm mumbling like a deranged drunk. His lips lock on mine and I can't say anything. I twist my head away. He's so heavy. There's a boulder on me. I open my mouth to breathe, to scream, and his hand covers it. In my head, my voice is as clear as a bell. No, I don't want to, but I can't spit it out. And he hurts me, and gets up and zips his jeans and smiles. Here's another rape scene, page 193. His mouth is on my face. I twist my head. His lips are wet. His teeth knock against my cheekbone. I pull my arms again, and he slams his body against mine. I have no legs. My heart wobbles. His teeth are on my neck. The only sound I can make
is done. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Would anyone else like to give public comment?
Hello, Lisa Reed. I just want to say Atlantis Run had their talent show 2 weeks ago, and the Key Club relationship that you talked about, I made that happen. So I thought that was great to bring them in to our elementary schools. But the reason why I'm up here right now is I just want to say I find it extremely disappointing that your senior member, Mrs. Hentz, made a vote for someone, and I thought it was great. Exactly what you said. This is what this board needs, exactly what they need. The stability, someone that's been in here for a long time and knows what's going on. I would have, if I was in your shoes, I would have voted for Todd. Mark would have been a great option as well. So I find it extremely disappointed that you voted 7-1 against your most senior member's recommendation. So it just goes to show that you don't listen to what people are saying around you. And the other thing I'm extremely disappointed about is we have over a $300,000 mistake for who we hired when we have an exceptional administrator right here that could have done the job. And we should be looking at promoting from within somebody that is here and doing it. When Dr. Felty retired, he kept the ship steady, no problem. But we went outside of our state, hired somebody that wasn't even up to par, which was pretty easy to know. like I said when I spoke a couple weeks ago. And I find that disappointing too. So there's something else I want to say. Oh, earlier when you spoke about the clause in that contract, I think there's 17 public schools in Lancaster County. I believe only one other school has that clause in their contract. Dr. Felty didn't have it. It's not a common thing. So you can't sit there and say it's common. Thank you.
Todd Heckman, 315. Oh, we don't do the address anymore, sorry. So a couple things. A little bit of a mixed messaging. So I want to start with the very positive. So that's the part that you remember the most. Great job on bringing Dr. Hudax in. Probably one of the best superintendents that's been in this county. So you made a great choice there. So I wanted to commend that and keep him as absolutely long as you can keep him here because he's fantastic. I wouldn't call it the privilege at that time, but I worked with him when I was on the board the last time, and we had a little similar situation like this. And he was fantastic at what I would say is righting the ship and getting everything straightened out. So that was a great choice. I also was listening to Miss Hentz, and I agreed with her thinking on this. Obviously, you're going to do what you're going to do on making your selections. Obviously, I'm biased, but I kind of thought maybe she was talking about a different candidate. But I know Mark, and he would have been a great choice as well. But she and I have been around this stuff for a long, long time, and I think we have a pretty good understanding of how these things work. So I appreciate her thinking on that. We're in a difficult spot here. I feel like you guys are taking it lightly. Mr. Grenter is complaining about the media being in somebody's yard. Are you kidding me? Like, you've had it easy so far, very easy. And maybe that's going to be that way, but maybe not. But I just could not believe that you were complaining about that. The details are going to come out. The contract was a terrible contract. Now, I don't know really who negotiated it. My understanding, probably the president and the vice president at that time. To say that clause on the transparency is common, I'm not sure that's accurate. Common's a relative term, but here's the thing. If I'm sitting on the board and I see that contract, well, that's a huge red flag. Why would somebody want that in their contract? So the fact that you let that go through is certainly a detail that I feel like was a major dereliction of duty, and it's gotten to this spot. Because everybody wants to know what's going on. And this is ridiculous that you're paying this out. And I understand mistakes can be made. That happens. So fix the problem and move on. But it just feels like you're kind of taking it lightly and you're just pushing some stuff aside. And, I think those things are going to come out sooner or later. My best recommendation at this point, let's do the job. Let's move on. You got a great interim superintendent. Hopefully you'll do better the next time.
Would anyone else like to have public comment? Okay. Seeing no one. That brings us to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Mrs. Hentz, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Woodbury. Our next scheduled board meeting is Thursday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. here in the district office. This will be our Facilities Committee of the Whole meeting. Thank you to all Manheim Township staff, administrators, and volunteers for your dedication to our students and community. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned.